This autobiographical piece focuses on the need and significance of freedom for a nation. A nation enslaved by foreigners cannot feel proud and become self-dependent. People who are subjected remain under the shadow of ignominy. Slavery is the worst thing they can undergo at any time. This was realized by Nelson Mandela when he became an adult. The desire to achieve freedom for his nation greatly inspired him to lead a struggle against the white colonist. He had to suffer a lot as a result of it, but he did not give up. His struggle and fight resulted in the freedom for his people at long last. South Africa became free on 10th May 1994. The autobiographical genre exemplifies unique characteristics which does not reduce the worth of the extract as a creative work. This autobiography illustrates and interprets the theme of struggle for freedom. With the help of theories, the struggle examines how Mandela showcases his individual role as well as the role of all the oppressed in the struggle in his autobiography. Long Walk to Freedom is about Nelson Mandela's sacrifices in his life to remove the social inequality from the country. He believed that he wanted a nation where he would be free to do as he thought. The central theme is social inequality along with courage and sacrifice to remove it. Talking about the background of the chapter, A Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela is all about the struggle of freedom of South Africa. On 10th May 1994, Nelson Mandela had taken the vow as the first black president of South Africa, and therefore it was becoming a newborn democratic country. Nelson Mandela took the oath as the first black president. Many dignitaries from different countries had come to be a part of the most significant day. In his speech, Mandela thanked all the dignitaries. Mandela assured his countrymen that his country would never ever experience the same suppression of one by another. Democracy had been established in South Africa, and as a result, a government of no discrimination was established. Long Walk to Freedom is Nelson Mandela's autobiography published in 1994. It details his life and the struggle for freedom of South African people. This excerpt revolves around Mandela's desire for freedom from racism as democracy was established in this country. The South Africans faced racism and hatred during the apartheid period, which upheld segregationist policies. The all-white government sanctioned the political and economic discrimination against the non-white population of South Africa. It forced black South Africans into poverty, loss, and lack of protection of their basic dignity. This article provides the summary and analysis of an excerpt from Long Walk to Freedom and not the entire book. Let us now discuss the major events in the chapter one by one, the first being the inauguration. 10th May 1994. This is the day when Nelson Mandela, after years of struggle, was inaugurated as the head of state, a position that had been historically occupied only by white presidents. The day was bright and clear, and it dawned anew that the world was changing and South Africa was no longer under the control of racists and oppressors. The next event is the swearing-in ceremony of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was accompanied by his daughter Zinani. Mr. de Klerk was the first person who took oath as second deputy president, followed by Mr. Thabo Mbeki, who sweared in as the first deputy president of South Africa. Nelson Mandela was the last person who sweared in as the first black president of South Africa. He pledged to obey and uphold the constitution and to devote himself to the well-being of the people. He also promised to make the nation free from poverty, deprivation, suffering, and all sort of discrimination. Then came the display of the military power. When Mandela had taken oath, South African jets displayed the military power. It also showed the loyalty of military to democracy. The highest military generals saluted him. He recounted that they would have arrested him many years before. It was followed by the playing of two national anthems. The whites sang Nkosi Sikelel and the old song, and the blacks sang Thy Stem, the new song which marked the end of the ceremony. Next event is apartheid policy and South Africa. Nelson Mandela reminisces about days gone by, which will soon be the part of history when the whites had formed a system of racial dominance against the blacks. It was the basis of the harsh societies which is now overturned. He says that the policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound on his country and its people. Now it is the system that recognized the rights and freedom of all the people. In his speech, Mandela expresses regret and remembrance. On the auspicious day, Mandela regretted the loss of thousands of people and remembered their sacrifices for the freedom from discrimination. He thought of himself as the sum of all those African patriots who sacrificed their lives before him. He was pained that he couldn't thank them. He recalled great freedom fighters like Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, Chief Luthuli, Yusuf Dow, etc., who were the men of uncommon courage, wisdom and generosity. He said that the country is rich in minerals, but its greatest wealth is its people. Mandela teaches the lesson of goodness and duties of a man. The author says that being white or black is not the token of your goodness or superiority. No one is born hating other. People should love one another, which comes without force because it is natural. It is man's essential goodness. A man has to perform duties to his family, community, and country which he didn't see in his country before he pushed himself to fight for the blacks. A black man was punished if he tried to live like a human being and forced to live apart from his own people. So he was not allowed to perform his duties to his family. Mandela gives the meaning of freedom. As a kid, Mandela had different meaning for being free, as he wanted to run in the fields and wanted to stay out at night. As he grew older, he wanted the freedom of livelihood for himself and his family. But soon he realized that such freedom was only an illusion. He realized that his brothers and sisters who looked like him were not free, so he joined African National Congress. His hunger for freedom became great for the freedom of his people. He desired that everybody should be given the right to live his life with dignity and respect. He wanted the oppressor and the oppressed to be liberated, as no one is free if one is taking someone else's freedom. Only such feelings can bring true freedom for everyone. The chapter gives a clear-cut message. Freedom for a nation is more important than the bread and butter. We must fight against slavery in any form. Enslaved people cannot live a life of dignity and self-respect. This is what Nelson Mandela wants us to realize. He also cautions us against all kinds of prejudices. We should not hate even those who oppress us, and have peace, respect, and love for all. The oppressors are themselves the prisoners of hatred. We are to free them from their hatred. We must remember the oppressor and oppressed are robbed of their humanity. For the justification of the title, this chapter is an extract from Nelson Mandela's autobiography entitled Long Walk to Freedom. The title is appropriate as it focuses on the day of freedom for South Africa, that is 10th of May 1994, and traces the history of a bitter struggle that at long last culminated into freedom. The focus, as is natural, is on Nelson Mandela and his long struggle for freedom. The Day of Freedom is described vividly, and the feeling of pride in the writer's mind comes out clearly. The ceremonies connected with freedom take him back to his youthful days when he joined the freedom struggle and days of intense struggle against the oppressing rulers.